Superintendent's report.
For the report.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny. Madam President, members of the board, our guests here tonight and viewers at home. Tonight I'd like to present the 2011 assessment results. In November, the Board of Education had a special meeting where it presented assessment results in the form of 330 perfect scores. It also recognized the teachers that taught those students, the top 10 performing K-12 schools, top 10 preschools, and our 3 national Blue Ribbon schools. Tonight, the Director of Research, Evaluation, and Assessment, Amy Gill, will be presenting the assessment results from preschool through high school. Mrs. Gill?
Thank you, Mr. Munoz. Good evening, members of the Board of Education, Mr. Munoz, and members of the community here and at home. It is my pleasure to share with you our 2010-2011 Assessment of Teaching and Learning. Walt Disney reminds us that all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Here in Elizabeth Public Schools, we have more than a dream. We have a vision. Our vision is that we will be one of the best school systems in America. There are many aspects to being one of the best school systems in America. Tonight, we will focus on the academic component of being one of the best. For us, it begins with reaching 90% proficiency on state assessments. In tonight's presentation, I will share with you our data from pre-K through 12th grade so you can see where we are on our journey to 90%. As we begin with early childhood education, it is important to state that we do not assess our students in pre-K classes. Instead, we assess the environment as a whole and the literacy and mathematics programs that are taught. The Early Childhood Environmental Rating Scale, or ECHRS, is the 7-point scale used to evaluate pre-K classroom environments. Since 2005, we have seen 23% growth in our ECHRS scores, from an average overall score of 4.98 to 6.14 last year. The next 2 assessments are specific to literacy and mathematics and are evaluations of the implementation of our programs. Supports for Early Literacy Assessment, or CELA, is scored on a 5-point scale. Since 2005, we have seen 35% growth and now have an average CELA score of 4.68. The Preschool Classroom Mathematics Inventory, or PCMI, is also scored on a 5-point scale. Since 2005, we have seen 62% growth and now have an average score of 4.48. As we move from pre-K, our assessments change from environmental to student achievement. The Terra Nova is a norm referenced assessment administered to students in kindergarten through 2nd grade. From 2005 to 2010, we administered the Terra Nova 2nd edition. In 2011, we administered the Terra Nova 3rd edition. A review of our 2005 through 2010 scores on the 2nd edition revealed that we saw 30% increases in reading, 26% increases in language arts, and 23% increases in mathematics at the kindergarten level. And as you can see, our kindergartners had already reached 90% in mathematics and were in striking distance in reading and language arts. Likewise, we saw growth over 5 years in grade 1. 22% in reading, 17% in language arts, and 24% in mathematics. Nearly 90% of our first graders were proficient in mathematics, trailed closely by reading and language arts. The growth continued in grade 2. We saw 32% increases in reading, 14% in language arts, and 18% in mathematics. In addition, nearly 90% of our second graders were proficient in language arts in 2010. In 2011, as I mentioned, we replaced the Terra Nova Second Edition with the Terra Nova Third Edition. The Terra Nova Third Edition is more closely aligned to state assessments. Reading and language arts, which you previously saw separated, have been combined in one score under reading. It is important to note that the expectation was that our scores would drop as much as 10% due to the change in the edition of the test administered. In the following slides, you will see how our actual scores compared to that expectation. As you see here, our kindergartners performed better than expected in reading and mathematics. The yellow is what the expectation was, and the blue-gray bar shows how our students actually scored. In grade 1, our students performed as expected in reading and better than expected in mathematics. And in grade 2, our students performed better than expected in both subjects, another indication that we are moving in the direction of being one of the best school systems in America. We are now moving into our state assessments for grades 3 through 8. The New Jersey Assessment of Skills and Knowledge, or the New Jersey ASK, is the assessment administered by the state of New Jersey to determine proficiency of state standards. The New Jersey ASK assesses language arts and mathematics in grades 3 through 8 and science in grades 4 and 8. The scoring standards were adjusted in 2008 for grade 5 through 8 and in 2009 for grades 3 and 4. Therefore, you will see that our data goes back to those years for the grade levels mentioned. Since 2009, we've seen 4% growth in grade 3 language arts and 3% growth in mathematics. In grade 4, we have 7% growth in language arts since 2009 and 18% growth in mathematics. 73% of our grade 4 students scored proficient in mathematics. In looking at the grade 5 data, there was an obvious cause for concern, so we looked a little deeper and can report that this drop is a statewide issue. From 2008 to 2009 and from 2009 to 2010, we saw growth in the 5th grade in language arts. We found that across the state of New Jersey, there was growth only from 2008 to 2009, but there has been a statewide drop in proficiency in grade 5 language arts consistently from 2009 through 2011. In grade 6, we have seen significant increases in language arts at 63% and an increase of 26% in mathematics. In grade 7, we have a 19% increase in mathematics since 2008. And in grade 8, a 25% increase in language arts and a 49% increase in mathematics since 2008. When the scoring standards were adjusted in grades 4 and 8 in 2009 and 2008 respectively, no adjustments were made to scoring the science portion of the NJS. Therefore, the data for science in grades 4 and 8 dates back to 2005. We have seen an increase of 38% in grade 4 and 57% in grade 8. We began to administer the New Jersey Proficiency Assessment of State Standards, or the New Jersey PASS, to students in grades 9 and 10 in 2008. It is a test created and scored by Riverside Publishing, the company that had the original contract with the state of New Jersey for the high school proficiency assessment, which is the state assessment administered in grade 11. Therefore, the NJPASS provides valuable information about grade 9 and grade 10 students regarding their attainment of the state standards. In grade 9, we have seen an 8% increase in proficiency in language arts since 2008 and a 41% increase in mathematics. And in grade 10, 5% in language arts and 31% in mathematics. The High School Proficiency Assessment, or the HESPA, is the state assessment for high school that is administered to students in the 11th grade each March. The HESPA has not had any adjustments to its scoring, so our data dates back to 2005. In language arts, we have seen a 28% increase since 2005 and a 6% increase in mathematics. Unique to the high school is the fact that the state assessment, the HESPA, is not only used for adequate yearly progress or AYP calculations, but it is also used as an exit exam to earn a high school diploma. I mentioned just a few minutes ago that the HESPA is administered to 11th graders in March each year. Because passing the HESPA is also a requirement to earn a high school diploma, students who do not pass are afforded additional opportunities to take and pass the HESPA in October and March of each year following their initial assessment in March of 11th grade. As a result, the New Jersey Department of Education will include the first 3 administrations of the HESPA in their calculations for AYP. This process is called banking. Here we see the difference from the initial test administration through the 3rd administration. This data is from the 2010 cohort of 11th graders. Those students took the HESPA in March of 2010, October of 2010, and March of 2011. The starting point for the data for AYP calculations is 78% in language arts instead of 68% from their first administration, and 61% in mathematics instead of 49% from their first administration. We went back to the 2005 cohort of 11th graders who took the HESPA in March of 2005, October of 2005, and March of 2006, and compared it to the cohort of 11th graders from 2010. With all 3 administrations included, we were performing 18% better in language arts and 22% better in mathematics from where we were in 2005. As Mr. Munoz mentioned, just a few weeks ago we had our Perfect Scores rally, during which time we recognized students who earned perfect scores on state assessments in the spring of 2011. Just as a reminder, in 2005, 12 students earned perfect scores. In 2006, 45 students. In 2007, 23 students. In 2008, 74 students, which at that point was an all-time high until we shattered it the following year with 275 students earning perfect scores in 2009. In 2010, we celebrated 330 perfect scores. And in 2011, 78 perfect scores in grade 3, 88 perfect scores in grade 4, 66 perfect scores in grade 5, 31 perfect scores in grade 6, 19 perfect scores in grade 7, and 48 perfect scores in grade 8, for a grand total of 330 perfect scores, matching that of 2010. That is a 2,650% increase. It's literally off the chart. In addition, on the evening when we recognized the students who earned perfect scores, we also recognized our top 10 performing schools. The data that I shared with you tonight was compiled for each school, and the assessments administered to the students were combined, and the percentage of proficiency was calculated. For the pre-K K-8 schools, Terra Nova and New Jersey ASC were included, and for the high schools, the New Jersey PASS and the HESPA were used. Coming in at number 10, Ronald Reagan Academy, school number 30. Number 9, Abraham Lincoln, school number 14. Dr. Albert Einstein Academy, school number 29 at number 8. Number 7, Christopher Columbus, school number 15. Number 6, Dr. Orlando Adrera Academy, school number 26. I apologize, I know my pronunciation was not that good. Number 5, Alexander Hamilton Preparatory Academy, number 5. Victor Mravlag, school number 21, number 4. William F. Halloran, school number 22, at number 2. Tied with Terrence C. Riley, school number 7, also at number 2. And your number 1 performing school for 2010-2011 is Elizabeth High School with 99% proficiency. In addition, we also recognize the top pre-K schools. For those, the scores for ECHRS, CELA, and PCMI were all combined, and the percentage of possible points earned was calculated. We had a few multiple school ties for places, but I assure you there are 10 schools honored in this category. Tied at number 8, Proceed 2, Elmora, school number 12, and Dr. Antonia Pantoja, school number 27. Tied for number 5, Terrence C. Riley, school number 7. Nicholas Murray Butler, school number 23. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., school number 52. Standing alone at number 4 is Ronald Reagan Academy, school number 30. And tied for number 2, Francis C. Smith, school number 50. And Donald Stewart, school number 51, where we are this evening. And your number 1 performing pre-K school for 2010-2011 is Eggenoff. In addition, we recognize 3 National Blue Ribbon schools, and it is my pleasure to remind you that they are from 2006, William F. Halloran, school number 22, Victor Mravlag, school number 21, earned this honor in 2008, and as mentioned earlier this year, Terrence C. Riley, school number 7, earned this honor. So while we are a district with a vision of becoming one of the best school systems in America, we have 3 distinguished schools that have already earned the honor of being among the best schools in America. In closing, I'd like to share with you the words of Vince Lombardi. Leaders are made, they are not born. They are made by hard effort, which is the price which all of us must pay to achieve any goal that is worthwhile. I'd like to thank you for your attention. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Gill. Madam President, that concludes my report for this evening.